Every World Cup controversy explained. Ever notice how every World Cup ends with people screaming about a scandal? Let's count down soccer's wildest controversies ever. The very first World Cup in 1930 already had drama. Most European teams refused to make the long boat trip to Uruguay. In 1934, Mussolini wanted Italy to win so badly that referees were accused of favoring the host team at every turn. By 1938, Austria's team simply vanished from the World Cup after Nazi Germany annexed the country just before kickoff. 200,000 fans expected Brazil to win the 1950 final at home, but Uruguay stunned everyone and the country still hasn't fully recovered. West Germany's shock win in the 1954 final got called a miracle for decades, until old medical records revealed the team had been doping. Chile versus Italy in 1962 got so violent that commentators called it the Battle of Santiago, with broken noses and players sent off. England's winning goal in the 1966 final barely crossed the line, if at all, and Germans still argue about it to this day. Defenders kicked Pelé so brutally in 1966 that he limped out of the tournament early, furious that referees barely blew a whistle. Nobody gave North Korea a chance in 1966, yet they knocked out mighty Italy, and furious Italian fans threw tomatoes at their own team. Right before the 1966 tournament even started, someone stole the actual World Cup trophy from a public exhibition in London. Right before the 1970 World Cup, England's captain Bobby Moore got falsely accused of stealing a bracelet in a Bogotá jewelry shop. In 1974, East Germany and West Germany faced off in their only ever World Cup meeting, and the whole Cold War watched closely. One Zaire player famously charged forward and kicked the ball away before a free kick was even taken, terrified of his own dictator's punishment. West Germany got a very early penalty in the 1974 final, and fans still debate whether Cruyff's foul in the box was even real. Argentina hosted the 1978 World Cup under a brutal military dictatorship, while political prisoners were reportedly held just blocks from the stadium. Argentina needed to beat Peru by 4 goals to advance, and somehow won 6-0, sparking bribery rumors that never really went away. Scotland's Willie Johnston got sent home from a 1978 World Cup after failing a drug test for a banned stimulant. West Germany and Austria both knew the exact score that would send them through in 1982, so they just stopped trying to score. Furious fans in the stadium waved white handkerchiefs and burned newspapers, convinced they'd just watched a match that was basically fixed. In 1983, thieves broke into Brazil's football headquarters and stole the original World Cup trophy, which has never been found since. Colombia was set to host in 1986, but pulled out over money troubles, so Mexico stepped in with barely 2 years to prepare. Maradona punched the ball into the net with his fist against England, then swore afterward it was the hand of God. Minutes after that handball, the same man dribbled past half of England's team for what's still called the greatest goal ever scored. The 1990 final between Argentina and West Germany turned so nasty that 2 Argentine players got sent off before the game even ended. Maradona got pulled off the pitch mid-tournament in 1994 after failing a drug test, and just like that, his World Cup career was over. Colombian defender Andres Escobar accidentally scored on his own team at the 1994 World Cup, and tragically, he was murdered days after flying home. Hours before the 1998 final, Brazil's star striker Ronaldo suffered a mysterious seizure, yet somehow still took the field and looked completely off. Iran and USA met in 1998 amid decades of political tension, but the players swapped gifts and posed in one of soccer's nicest moments. South Korea's incredible run to the semifinals in 2002 came packed with disputed calls, and referee Byron Moreno became infamous almost overnight. Italy's captain Francesco Totti got a second yellow for supposedly diving against South Korea, and Italians are still furious about that decision today. Rivaldo clutched his face like he'd been hit, even though the ball had only bounced off his leg, and FIFA fined him for it. In his very last match, Zinedine Zidane headbutted an opponent in the chest during the 2006 final and got sent off for it. Italy lifted the trophy in 2006 while its own domestic league was drowning in a massive match-fixing scandal called Calciopoli. Goalkeepers hated the 2010 Jabulani ball so much they claimed it swerved unpredictably in the air like a beach ball. Millions of viewers complained about a constant buzzing drone in 2010, all because of a plastic horn called the Vuvuzela. Frank Lampard's shot smacked off the bar and clearly bounced over the line, but the goal got waved off anyway. No technology to check. Luis Suarez punched a certain goal off the line with his hands in the final seconds, then celebrated wildly when Ghana missed the penalty. France's players staged an actual training strike in 2010 after a teammate got sent home, refusing to even get off the bus. Luis Suarez bit an opponent's shoulder for the third time in his career during the 2014 World Cup and got banned for months. Hosting the 2014 World Cup, Brazil got humiliated 7-1 by Germany in the semi-final, a scoreline nobody has ever forgotten. After years of ghost goals like Lampard's, FIFA finally introduced goal line technology in 2014 so referees would never have to guess again. In 2015, dozens of FIFA officials got arrested in a massive bribery investigation tied to how host countries actually got chosen. Russia hosted the 2018 World Cup barely 2 years after a state-sponsored doping scandal got its athletes banned from the Olympics. Video Review made its World Cup debut in 2018, and within days fans everywhere were arguing about penalties that used to just get missed. VAR got so precise that goals started getting disallowed for offsides measured by a player's armpit, and fans found that almost comical. Court documents connected to the FIFA corruption case kept raising uncomfortable questions about how Qatar actually won its 2022 hosting bid. Investigations reported that thousands of migrant workers died building Qatar stadiums, turning the tournament into a human rights flashpoint. Qatar suddenly banned alcohol sales inside stadiums just 2 days before kickoff, blindsiding sponsors who'd paid millions to sell beer. FIFA threatened captains with an instant yellow card if they wore the One Love armband supporting LGBTQ rights, so every team backed down. Iran's players stood completely silent during their national anthem before their opening match, a quiet protest watched by the whole world. Human rights groups pushed fans and even entire countries to boycott Qatar 2022 altogether over its treatment of workers and minorities. Some female broadcasters and fans said they felt pressured into strict dress codes and behavior rules that simply didn't apply to men. Across multiple tournaments, players have reported hearing monkey chants and racist abuse from the stands, and FIFA keeps getting criticized for weak punishments. Some national federations have been accused for years of fielding players who are secretly older than their official birth certificates claim. Fans have accused referees of favoring the host nation so often across World Cups that it's basically become its own running joke. FIFA keeps tweaking the handball rule so often that even professional referees admit they're sometimes not totally sure what actually counts anymore. England failed to even qualify for the 1974 World Cup after a controversial draw at Wembley, a shock that stunned the whole country. Beyond Argentina's famous 6-0, several other suspiciously convenient results over the decades have left fans whispering about quiet arrangements behind closed doors. Political rivalries have shaped brackets for decades, with some nations refusing to even step onto the pitch against certain opponents. Stadium violence involving rival fan groups has repeatedly overshadowed the actual football, sometimes even leading to matches being abandoned entirely. Almost every hosting vote in World Cup history has eventually drawn allegations of secret deals, favors, or straight-up cash-changing hands. From West Germany in 1954 to Russia in 2018, doping scandals have quietly trailed the World Cup for almost 70 years. Massive spending on brand-new stadiums has sparked street protests in host countries like Brazil and South Africa, where citizens wanted that money elsewhere. These days, every questionable call gets clipped, shared, and debated within seconds, turning every single World Cup into instant global outrage. From stolen trophies to banned armbands, the World Cup has never just been about the football. Controversy is basically part of the tradition now.